welcome to the Good Talk Podcast. We remind you of the joy of life, the love of God, and the possibilities that lie ahead. Pete and Jordyn here.
Happy February.
Yay, we made it.
It's the month of love.
Aw, it is the month of love, which is the perfect time to tell you guys we're doing our first ever Good Talk series.
Yeah, so like the whole month of February, we're going to be talking about...
relationship goals.
Shocker. So, for primarily what you say for like dating, for marriages.
The focus is marriage and dating, but honestly, you could take all of these principles for the most part that we'll talk about and apply it to any relationship.
Yeah.
But I think there's a strong focus on marriage and dating, and why not? It's February, it's Valentine's Day. It feels like the perfect time to talk about this stuff. So I'm excited. Today we're talking about how to get the love you want. And we'll talk about that in a second. But oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. Something else we're doing for the month of February is we love getting to know you guys. And you guys are great about sending us emails and telling us how certain things impact you.
Yeah.
But we're like, let's do something fun. Like, because we wish we could go out like on a double date with all you guys, which would be more than a double date. But I meant like...
Yeah,
a day at a time. Yeah. But so we thought, let's do a little contest, right? So you guys send us your email address, and we're going to select somebody each week of the week of February. So it'll be 4 different nights, and we're going to do a double date with you, a virtual double date. So we'll make dinner, you make dinner. We're going to sit down in front of the computer, awkwardly eat dinner together, and just talk about life. Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for this. I can't wait to meet some people we've never met.
And to be clear, we're not cooking together. Like, we'll just both come to our Zoom meeting with our meals.
What we cook.
Yeah, because we're not teaching cooking because you don't want that at all.
No. But if you do want one of my recipes, I will give it to you.
Oh my gosh.
So how do they do this, Jordyn?
Yeah, so our website where you can find a lot of the things we're up to is theplaceforgood.com. On the homepage, you will see a section that calls out this month of February double date situation. So it'll be a place for you to enter your email, and then we'll just pick from there.
So go to theplaceforgood.com. They'll see like a section there to give us your email. We'll randomly select somebody out of that and send you an email, and we'll do a double date, a virtual double date.
Woohoo! That sounds fun.
I know. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
sign up.
All right.
Get to know us. We want to get to know you.
Before we get into how to get to the love you want, let's do a game.
I know. So this game was my idea. This might crash and burn. I don't know. You guys might see our relationship spiral in the next 3 minutes.
Good.
I don't know. So all of you, I'm sure, have listened to or have seen the Newlywed Game, and we're kind of newlyweds.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, technically, yeah. So we were married back in hey Pete, when were we married?
In May.
Yeah, good job.
Boom.
It's because I just started saying it.
Nailed it.
May.
Hashtag relationship goals.
So we're almost like 9 months out, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to play a game, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see us playing the game with the little cards. And if you're listening, obviously, you will hear us.
We'll read them.
We'll read them. So I'm going to read all the questions.
Okay.
Asked Pete 4 questions, and then we asked myself 4 questions, and we tried to figure out what the other person would answer. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So Pete, we started with you. So for you to answer, if you could describe me, so
If
Jordyn,
I could describe you, Jordyn,
in one word, what would
it
it be? And so I also have to guess what you would say.
Okay.
Ready?
My word is
1, 2.
kind.
Kind.
And you said caring.
Aw, caring.
That's really the same
It's
thing.
also so awkward to be like, I'm sure he thinks I'm so caring.
No, I think you're very kind.
Okay, caring. That's sweet.
good.
Thank
Yep.
you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
second one. Which one of you is the better driver? So
better
you have to
driver.
answer this, and I just have to guess what you're going to say. It doesn't mean I agree.
Okay.
Ready?
Me. You
Yeah,
said
I
me
said
too.
Pete.
Yeah, I'm by far a better driver.
I disagree, but
I didn't even take
I
time
just
to
had to
think about
match.
that.
I just had to match your answer.
Oh my gosh.
Totally disagree. Okay, what? This is awkward too. What is your spouse's best physical feature? So
Your
my
best physical feature, I wrote down. Oh, where's it? Oh,
This is why I told you to order your cards.
I know, I did. So I wrote one and crossed it out, and then went with something else. So I wrote eyes down first.
Okay.
Is that what you wrote?
I said eyes.
And then I crossed it out, and I was like, hair.
Okay.
You have awesome hair.
Thank you.
Those are typically, like, I think most guys, someone will send an email about this, a smart aleck.
Sure.
Most guys notice eyes and hair first, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
I think you have great eyes and hair.
Thank you.
All right, next question.
All right, the next question. What is Jordyn's worst habit?
Oh, man.
I don't even want. This is where our relationship's going to spiral. Ready?
Yeah, I answered this, but only because you asked.
Okay. Well, you could at least be kind.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I said clutter.
I
You
said leaving things out.
There you go.
So
Bingo.
it's not clutter. It's just like I leave things.
It's clutter.
It's not. I don't have clutter. Where do you see clutter in this home right now? Besides my closet.
Don't make me grab that camera and give people a tour to your piles.
No.
You have little. They are generally stacked neat, but you have piles of things in little places.
I don't have. You make me sound like a hoarder. I literally just have. So in my closet, I have like my robe is on the closet floor, and I have a ton of shoes that are just
ran. I mean, we're newlyweds. We haven't been in this house long, so there's some things in your defense you just haven't found a home for yet.
Okay, can we keep going with the questions because I have something I want to say about you.
All right, let's go. What's next?
So these questions were asked for me about you sometimes. Okay, so who is more emotional? So my answer for who was more emotional.
What'd you put down?
I put Pete.
You said I was more emotional.
Yeah.
I said you were more emotional.
I know. I'm so surprised. Yeah, no, you are. You're so much more emotional.
Not true.
You can't. Yeah, no, you are.
No.
Yeah.
I will say I am emotional, but I would say you are more emotional.
I think you see. I think you feel your emotions. You just don't share them as much as I share them.
Okay. I'm gonna have to process that. I'll get back to you on that one.
What is Pete's ideal vacation?
My ideal vacation. Go ahead.
So I
What'd you
said
put?
basically any beach.
Very close. I said Hawaii, and I wrote down beach plus adventure because in Hawaii, at least I understand. I've never been there. Like I love it when we go to like Florida and we just sit on the beach for a week. That's awesome. But there are times where I start to get a little antsy. I'm like, I'd like to climb a mountain right now.
Yeah.
You know, or zip line or, you know, so that's why I said.
Well, I
but
wanna
we were
just
spot
lay
on.
out.
That was good. Good.
Okay.
What else?
This is Pete's best physical feature.
I bet it took you a while, didn't it?
I said hair.
I said, oh, that's the wrong paper. Hold on. That's the next one. I said hair. But I said a very close second's my height.
Gosh. If you guys don't know us, I'm 5'8" and Pete is 5'8".
Yeah.
So we are eye to eye. But yeah, you're so tall. You have fantastic hair.
Well, thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay, the last one, which is what is the last one? Oh, okay. This one is what is Pete's worst habit, this is the one that I couldn't wait to get to.
Okay, what's my worst habit? Go ahead.
So I started with unorganized. Then I scratched that out just so that I could say it out loud because honestly...
You've talked about this on the podcast.
No, I don't think I have. Not in enough detail. I'm just going to go into it for a hot second. Like, if I'm ever gone on a weekend and he's here and I come back, there is no telling where our dishes are, where the glasses are.
That's not what you're riffing on something else.
I gotta just get it out. Where the batteries are, nothing. Like I'll go into the pantry and find like our plates, which have its own like cabinet. They have a great cabinet.
But is it neat? Is it clean?
No, it's unorganized.
It's unorganized, but it is neat and clean.
Yeah, but so is my pantry and all my dishes and all that. That's
I agree. The kitchen is the neatest room in the house. But you put
this is not a habit. This is just something you do. Crunching really loud.
Crunching, yeah. I actually put crunching. I started with the toilet paper curled because you get on to me about that.
What do you mean?
I leave the toilet paper I leave the string out.
Curled is not the right word. He literally will leave the toilet paper, which is
kind of from
awkward.
Where it is down to the ground.
Like it touches the ground.
I forget to roll it back up.
So you have to obviously I don't want to use the square that's been rubbing all over the ground. So you got to tear it and throw it.
Why? It's about to rub all over your butt. I think you can, it's fine.
Okay. Anyways, right. You're weird.
I don't have another sheet.
I know. So
it's okay.
Our last question, and I'll put my sheet down.
Okay.
The last question is, does Pete want more kids?
Yes, Pete does want more kids.
Okay. I said yes too. And that is because
Jordyn's pregnant.
I am pregnant, you guys. If you follow us on our socials, you already know this. But yeah, I mean, by the time this podcast comes out, I'll be 14 weeks.
I'm so excited.
We are really excited. Yeah, it's been just kind of a whirlwind of a few months of just kind of preparing your mind for something. Obviously, I don't even think you can prepare your mind for, but we are so pumped. We've our family, friends know. We told them first. We told the boys first. They were so awesome.
Pumped.
So yeah,
the boys already have a list of names.
Yes. Yeah, they've generated both options in the case that they get to be the winner of the name.
Yep. I don't think they have a shot at it, having looked. Actually, I saw a couple on Jet's list. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good list. So anyways, so that is our biggest life change as of yet.
It's a big life change.
It's going to add a new flair to our relationship.
I'm so excited. So I'm excited you guys get to go on this journey of Jordyn's pregnancy over the next couple months. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah. If you watch on YouTube, I'll just start to expand, I think. Hopefully only in one direction. Anyways. Well, thanks for playing the newlywed game.
Yeah, it's a newlywed game.
Dun-dun-dun,
I'm excited about relationship goals this month. I really am.
Too.
I think it's going to be some fun conversations and hopefully stretch us. And I want to start, the title, to be honest, is a little bit of a trick, how to get the love you want. And I'll explain why in just a minute. But I really wanted to talk about, like, there's so many books and so many articles out there about how to pick up women, how to get a man. The problem isn't for any of us finding other humans. Like, they're freaking everywhere, right? It's about learning how to love and to be loved by the people that we find. And I think that's, for me, if I could sum up the next 4 weeks, relationship goals is all about that. How can we all help each other love and be loved by the people that are in our life? And I want to spend this week talking about what I think it's just called the 5 love languages, for lack of a better term.
Well, and that's Gary Chapman has a fantastic book about it if you've never read about it, but we'll kind of touch on that. We didn't come up with this.
No, it's probably the most practical relationship tool that has come out in the past 50 years, in my opinion.
I agree.
Gary Chapman came out with this book at least 25, maybe 30 years ago. It's still a bestseller to this day because it's just so practical and real. And, the idea is that everyone has a different love language, right? In a way that you feel most loved by another person. So let's walk through the 5 love languages. And there probably are more, but this kind of sums up, I think, a good generalization of the way in which different people receive love.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one is words of affirmation. And so for some of you, words of affirmation is a big deal. For some of you, it isn't a big deal at all.
It's like encouragement and saying things out loud to your partner.
A word of affirmation means saying really things that are assumed and unspoken about someone. So if this is you like to hear words, but you also like to receive texts and emails and phone calls. You just like to hear positive affirmation about who you are.
Yeah.
I read a book a while ago entitled The Surprising Secrets of Highly Happy Marriages. And it's full of a lot of stats, which, I love stats. And it said 75%, I want to see if you agree with this, Jordyn, 75% of all women said they love when their spouse leaves her a message by voicemail, email, or text during the day to say that he loves and is thinking about her.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think that is true of anybody. And just so you know, too, like, you might have some dominant love languages, but I think almost everyone has traces of every one of these. So don't think like, oh, I have all of them, I'm crazy. No, you're going to have a couple that are dominant and then the rest are just helpful but not pertinent.
For sure. It also says 76% of women said that they love when their husband tells them you're beautiful, which kind of, but again, I think we need, I think for me, the words of affirmation, it's about saying the things that are assumed. You got to, I know that you think that I think you're beautiful. But the power is not in me thinking that and you knowing that I think that. The power is in me saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if your love language is words of affirmation.
Right. Yep.
And I think we got to be careful too, on both men and women, about praising our spouse, that it's done privately and publicly. Because I think if you only do it publicly, if like the only time that, you tell the world that you think your wife is hot is
on
on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Over time, I think she starts to think that actually that post is more about you than it is about her.
Yeah.
So I think there's a balance of private and public there, but
Yep, that's good.
for some people, it's words of affirmation. It was interesting. The flip side of that for men, when it comes to words of affirmation, it said 72% of all men love it when their wife, girlfriend, significant other says to them, "You did a great job at blank."
Like it's performance based.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Because we tend to find our identity in performance. So anyway, I thought that was...
Is that true for you? Like,
Yes.
would you rather me say you did a really good job on this course today rather than, hey, I love you and you look handsome today?
Yes. I would rather hear you say things to me about...
Like
I want
your
it to be
work
genuine,
ethic?
but about, like if you listen to a sermon I did and you're not there or whatever, and you watched online, when you text me, you're like, that was a great message. You really did a good job with that. That means more to me than all the other text or notes that I get.
That's good to know.
Yep.
All right.
So, words of affirmation. Second one is quality time. This is your top one, right, Jordyn?
That is my number one.
So for Jordyn and for all of you who quality time is your number one love language, you spell love Time, right? Now, this can hold its challenges for those of us that are trying to love those of you that your love language is quality time, because we live in a very busy society. And the idea here is that you're spending time together in a common pursuit to experience togetherness.
Yes. Like, I'm just going to go on my own diatribe here.
Yep.
Like, for quality time, and for those of you who this is your love language, you would resonate with this. And if this is not your love language, I would highly recommend listening to this, because it's hard to understand, because you and I, we work from home, right?
Yep.
Predominantly. You travel a decent bit, but other than that, during the week, we're pretty much together all day. We work nonstop. A lot of times we're working till 7:30 at night, and then we get on the couch, and if he's sitting right next to me, the whole day we're together, I don't feel love until we're sitting together and we're not on our computers working. He's not on his phone. I'm not on my phone. We're just together in our silence
And
or whatever.
I've had to learn that. It's funny you use that. I have that. Look at my notes. I have that exact example written down, because, she might in the evening, say, "I just need some time with you." And what I'm thinking, and I've said more, I've done more than think this. I've said this, haven't I? I'm like, more time? Are you kidding me? We live together. We work together. We're attached at the hip. Like, you need more time? Are you kidding me?
Attention is the word.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
it.
attention.
And it's time where we're together on the same thing, the same wavelength, watching the same thing, or reading the same thing, or having the same conversation.
Talking about something.
It's not about proximity.
No. Yeah, it's just engaging together on something that doesn't work.
Yep. All right. So that's quality time. Third love language, receiving gifts.
This is my number 2.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? I've worked with people for years on these 5 love languages. Most people do not want to admit when
That's so true.
this is their gift or this is their love language, because they think it makes them sound materialistic. But that is not the case at all. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but for people who this is their love language, it's not about the value of the gift. For them, the gift doesn't have to cost a lot. The gift just has to communicate, "I was thinking about you."
Yeah, like I wasn't with you and you were at the airport and you brought me back a Reese's, or like you always bring me your snacks from the from the plane. I sound like a 4-year-old, but you bring me something and that makes me feel like, he thought of me.
I actually have some beef jerky and cheese in my backpack.
That's the most pregnant thing I've ever thought about.
Just for
actually
you, babe.
snacking on.
But no, you're right. And I think it's even more than that. It's more than that I was just thinking about you. It's also I was thinking about you and I know you.
Yeah.
So when I bring you something that I know you like to you that communicates, I'm known. So it's not about the gift. It's about
Thinking
you were
of
thought
you
about and you were known.
Yeah, that's good.
So, okay. Fourth love language is acts of service.
That's your number
This
one.
is my number one by far, which I'll just say right now, for those of you who are dating and or married or in close proximity who's with someone who this is their love language, it stinks for you.
It does.
It really does.
It really sucks.
Because all I have to do to make you feel loved is to sit on the couch with you. If you
And I
want to
have
make
to do
me
your
feel loved, you have to
laundry.
do something, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's the like unloading the dishwasher when you're the one that loaded it, or like we have our roles in the house, but it's when I take something that you would have done.
That I typically do.
Yeah.
It's also too when you join me in something. You don't have to completely do it by yourself, but if I'm stuck on a project and you jump in and help me, that's an act of service to me. Or it could be an IT issue.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
Like I help
yeah.
you with design stuff all the time. Is that act of service?
Yes.
Like when I make things for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Yep.
Good to know.
Okay. Fifth one, physical touch. And some interesting stats on this. The average person craves 13 hugs a day. I read that.
Did you write this?
No, I like hugs, but that's a lot of hugs. Also, the average length of a hug between two people is 3 seconds. That's what researchers say. They also say, I thought this was interesting, is that when a hug lasts 20 seconds, there's major therapeutic benefit to the body and mind.
Yeah.
I mean, and it went in depth about like what happens in your body and your mind when a hug lasts more than 20 seconds. Here's my thing. Count out 20 seconds right now.
No, if there's
That's a long time.
If there's a 20-second hug, someone like must have passed away or you must be reuniting.
Yeah.
There's some other trauma.
I just said the only person I'm ever going to hug for 20 seconds is you. And to be honest, after 6 seconds, I'm starting to believe this hug is going to go somewhere else.
Oh my gosh.
It's true.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah, no, 13 hugs is a lot, but I think physical touch in a relationship usually is like patting on, rubbing your back, holding your hand, that kind of stuff, which I was never natural at. This is not one of your top love languages. Yeah.
No, it's interesting too. Obviously for most guys, when they hear physical touch, they're thinking sex, but we're talking about like non-sexual touch, which is, I know, a complete oxymoron for most guys. Like non-sexual, what is non-sexual touch? But for instance, 82% of women said it deeply pleases them when their spouse just takes their hand.
Why are you laughing? I can see you laughing.
Well, because I was reading a quote and it says deeply pleases them. I'm like, wow, that's a lot for just holding her hand. 74% said it deeply pleases them.
Can we stop
when
recording?
He puts his arm around her or puts his hand on her knee.
Yeah.
So we're not. It doesn't have to even be a hug. Sometimes it's just I'm acknowledging.
It's an acknowledgement. Right? Yeah. And a lot of times people who this is their love language, it's also a public display of affection. So it's like it means something to you that you're not embarrassed to put your hand on my leg, or you're not embarrassed to hold my hand in public, things like that.
Yeah. So that's the 5 love languages. Typically we have one really dominant one, maybe 2 dominant ones. A couple of thoughts I just want to add to this for application. First of all, is we generally speak our native language. Okay. So if your native language is acts of service, then what you're going to speak, the way you're typically just naturally going to show the other person in relationship love is through acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had, a partner say to you, I just don't feel loved? And you're like, what? You don't feel loved? Don't you remember when I bought you this and then I bought you that and I surprised you with this gift? And it's because your love language is acts or gifts, right? And you're speaking that gifts language, and maybe her love language is quality time. And she don't want the gift. What really means love to her is just being with her.
Yep.
And so I think it's really important to understand everyone has a love tank, and what fills up their tank is their language, not your language. It's their language.
Yep. That's so true.
Just speaking your own language doesn't really get you anywhere, although that's, again, what most of us just naturally do.
Yeah, because you would probably say, oh, she's going to feel loved because I just did the laundry or I just emptied the dishwasher. And I'm sitting there like, I don't have quality time because you're unloading the dishwasher and you're doing the laundry.
And I can feel that energy from you. I'm like, what's the matter with you? I'm doing all this work around the house. Like you should be,
Yeah.
And again, we just have to be aware of this because we all slip back into this. The second kind of observation about love languages for me is it's more important to know your partner's language than your own.
Yes.
Because of what we just talked about. And over time, what happened with the love languages, it's become so popular, the 5 love languages, people throw their love language around like their Myers-Briggs personality test or their Enneagram number. Like, here's my love language, right?
Right.
And I'll bring it back to our title, this idea of how to get the love you want. To get the love that you want, you start by giving the love that they need. So we go back to that idea of everybody has a tank, right? Has a love tank. The more you fill up your spouse's love tank or your boyfriend or your girlfriend's love tank, the more capable they then are of being able to show that love back to you.
Right.
And so it is kind of this weird dichotomy where to actually get the love that you want, you have to give the love that they need. So sure, it's good for you to know your own love language. It's healthy for you to communicate to your partner what makes you feel appreciated and what doesn't do a whole lot for you. But ultimately, the whole purpose of the 5 love languages in that original book was it doesn't stop there, it starts there. Yeah. And what's real clear is that your love language, is really about discovering the love language of the other person so you can speak that.
Yeah.
There's this passage of scripture, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. It says, don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up. And here's the key line, according to their needs. So there's this idea that we should be fairly familiar with, aware of the needs of the other person that we're in a relationship with.
Yep, that's good.
And I just think it's key because every couple has differences. And we'll talk a lot about this over this month. Every couple has differences. Differences aren't the problem. It's how you handle the differences that matter.
Yep. Yeah, at the end of the day, like, we're all going to have obstacles and challenges, but if your love languages are, identified and communicated and you're attempting that, your guard is down, you're just more open to getting over those obstacles, right? Like If I feel loved and you feel loved, even though we might have this mountain to get over, you're so much more like apt to being open-eyed about it and open-palmed about it. And we're not perfect at this at all. So I'm not saying that we are, but I really think having this foundation is really important.
Yep. So little homework for this week for everybody. Number 1, if you don't know your love language, discover it. Number 2, and this is more important, if you don't know your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend's love language, find that out.
Yeah.
Because you may be thinking that you're showing them all kinds of love and they don't feel it. It's like they have an unleaded tank and you're trying to put diesel in it and the hose doesn't even fit, right? It doesn't match.
Yeah. And pro tip, if you go to your husband or boyfriend and they're kind of weary of this stuff, don't be like, let's figure out your love language. You should talk to them and be like, hey, of these 5 things, what makes you feel like the best? I think it's, if you present it in that way and you can have kind of a more open conversation, I think that'd be really good. But figure those out. And you can look online for descriptors.
Yeah, you could actually Google love language quiz and do an online quiz if you really want to figure it out. Totally free and kind of fun way. So I love this. I love to kick off the relationship goals.
Me too. I'm
excited
month. About this one. We are a work in progress in our relationship for sure, but I love just the transparency through it all, and we can't wait to hear how it impacts you guys. So
and don't forget to shoot us your email. Go to theplaceforgood.com. Give us your email so we can go on a double date.
Yeah, we can talk about our love languages.
Yep.
No, not really. We won't be weird. Hey, share this episode, rate, subscribe. Everybody in this whole world needs help with their relationship, whether you're dating or married or not. I think this is super helpful. So in the name of love and the month of February, share this with everybody, please.
There you go. Hope you guys have a great week. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May he smile on you and be gracious to you. May he show you his favor and give you his peace.